Hello and welcome to the Champions League phase of the 2025-2026 and new 36 league tournament with some brand new debutants in it, aka Kalak from Kazakhstan, Bodo Glimt, who are in the Europa League last year from Norway, Paphos, who are from Cyprus, and one more in Union Saint-Gilloise from Belgium. They are appearing in the league phase for the very first time. Let's see what they can do. And the usual suspects like Man City, PSG, Barcelona, Real, and Bayern Munich. What will PSG do? Will PSG maintain and retain their Champions League? Find all that out and a lot more next.
Boys, if you want a discount on your energy, go and get my discount in the description. New Dan 10 at checkout. Peace.
Yes, hello and welcome back to the Champions League, and we're starting off in Bilbao for Athletic Club de Bilbao versus Arsenal. Now, Arsenal are unbeaten in their last 8 UCL games. Up to any European opening games, but Atletico have started strong at home in Europa League, but still against the top teams. As we got a lot of games to get over 3 days. They don't have 3 days. They're mental. These teams right now. And I'm gonna say in this game it will be a 2-0 win to Arsenal. Now we move to PSV Eindhoven versus Union Saint-Gilloise, who are there. PSV have very good European form, but however, Union Saint-Gilloise are debutants at this level and less unlikely to shock. I expect a clean sheet here from the PSV Eindhoven backline of a 3-0 victory to this team, to PSV Eindhoven. Now you go to SL Benfica versus FK Karabakh. Now, I haven't got any stats for these two teams, but what I was going to say is both these two teams were in it last year, and Benfica gave it a very good go. They didn't progress or anything, but they're it. But Karabakh, I expect them to be near the bottom like they were last year. I'm going to go 2-0 to Benfica in this game. And we now go to Juventus versus Borussia Dortmund, who I had stats for. And I think Juventus have had a good home record, but Dortmund are dangerous away from home. This could be very, very tight in this game. And I think it will be a 1-1 draw between these two teams. Now we go to Real Madrid against Olympique Marseille, who haven't been in the Champions League. They weren't in it last year. They're making their return back to the Champions League stages again. Real are Real Madrid. You're gonna get Real Madrid. You're gonna get high quality. You're gonna get pace. You're gonna get counter attack. You're gonna get Trent playing in his first Champions League for Real. How will he fare? I'm gonna go 2-0 to home to Real Madrid. We now go to the last game. Yes, the last game on Tuesday. They're doing it in blocks of 6. So 6 games on Tuesday, 6 games on Wednesday, and 6 games on Thursday. And the last game on Tuesday is Tottenham Hotspur versus returnees Villarreal. Now, Tottenham, as we know, this is going to be Thomas Frank's first European competition with the Spurs, and how will he fare is anyone's matter. He could be the next insane coach for Spurs. He could. They took PSG very close in that Super Cup. They're owning this competition because they beat Man United in the Europa League final. I think that it will be a close one, and I think it's going to be 2-1 Tottenham Hotspur, and that is Tuesday. We now move on to the Wednesday, and starting off with Olympiacos versus Paso. I will get to know that better. Here we go. Paphos, there we go. I will get to know that over these last. Well, I mean, I expect them to be absolutely bottom. Absolutely. I'm gonna go Olympiacos 3, Paphos 0 in this game, and we go to the last of the debutants in Slavia Prague versus Bodo Glimt. Now, Bodo, they played very well in the Europa League last year, getting to the semi-finals, got beaten eventually by winners Spurs. They did very well. Like, they were good. They were in the Europa League, they were really good last year, but I mean, this is the Champions League, and this is a different kettle of fish. I don't know how they're going to play here. They could play amazingly, or they could play absolutely pants. But I mean, against a Slavia Prague team who are all one of them in, I think Sparta were in the Europa League last year. I'm going to say it'll be a 2-2 draw between these two teams, and we now go to Ajax versus Internazionale, also known as Inter Milan for all you non-Italian fans out there. Ajax versus Inter Milan. Both these two teams were in last season. Juventus PSV won the Eredivisie last year. Ajax have been going through a little bit of ups and downs in the league recently. But, I mean, I think that it'll be a close game of 2-2 in this game. We now go to Bayern München versus Chelsea. Now, Bayern Munich are almost unbeatable at home, but Chelsea have shown attacking strength. This could be a high-scoring game. They're saying it could be a draw. I'm going to agree. It could be a high-scoring draw of 2-2. What will Harry Kane do? Will Harry Kane get on the scoreboard? Probably it's Harry Kane, isn't he? And we now go to Liverpool versus Atletico de Madrid. Now, Liverpool could be interesting. Liverpool could do very well under Slot. Don't think they'll win the whole thing because of Liverpool. I mean, these statistics are saying Liverpool could actually win the whole thing. I mean, we'll find out later. In this game, I'm going to go Liverpool 2 at Atletico de Madrid 0. We now go to the defending champions in PSG versus Atalanta. Now, as I mentioned, PSG are defending champions, and we want to start off strong. Atalanta are solid, but also very, very vulnerable away. I predict both teams to score here. I'm going to go Paris Saint-Germain 3, Atalanta 1. That is the Wednesday done. We now move on to the Thursday and the last 6 games of match day, group stage of league phase number 1 is Club Brugge versus AS Monaco. Now, again, I think that these two teams could play equally well here. Club Brugge 2, AS Monaco 2. We now go to FC Copenhagen versus Bayer Leverkusen. Yes. I mean, Leverkusen, as we know, let's just say Leverkusen haven't had the best of starts to the Bundesliga life. Obviously, lost Granit Xhaka in the summer to Sunderland. Lost their manager, appointed Erik ten Hag. He lasted about 2 months. I want to say maybe a month, 2 weeks, 6 weeks at least. And he's been replaced by former Danish manager I don't know even how you say his name, but the guy Nuremberg, I think Nuremberg, or Julian Nuremberg or something like that. I think he has gone to Leverkusen. In this game, I'm going to go Leverkusen to win it 3-0 at Copenhagen. Julian Mann is going back to Denmark. We now go to Eintracht Frankfurt versus Galatasaray. As we know, Galatasaray are a very difficult team to play, especially at home, but they are away in Frankfurt, who also are very, let's say, I want to say tough, but challenging. They are that as well. I mean, both these teams play interesting football. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw in this game. Now we go to Man City versus SCC Napoli. Now, Man City had one of their worst Champions League campaigns on history, only just scraping through to the last round, but then they got beaten. But Napoli on the other hand went in it last year. But I think that Napoli have the likes of Scott McTominay in their ranks, really Gilmour in their ranks. Now Rasmus Højlund in Holland as well now. Napoli won the Serie A again. And I think that it's going to be a good going game. 3-2 to Man City. Now we go to Newcastle United versus Barcelona. Now, Barcelona normally perform well on opening day, but Newcastle will have the boost of their home fans. It should be a narrow win to Barca, but also add Barcelona might miss Frankie de Jong for injury, which could reduce their midfield control of 2-0 to Barcelona. But after Newcastle performed well last game, we now go to the last game of match day number 1, which is Sporting Cluj of Portugal versus the last debutant in Colotte. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Please do not tell me wrong in the comments, please. But I'm talking about best. And in this game, Sporting Portugal 2-0. I mean, I don't know how this Cyprian team will play. For one, no. This Kazakhstani team will play for one because I don't actually know how they're gonna play. But I mean, anything's possible. 2-0 win to Sporting Cluj of Portugal, and that will bring match day 1 and the league phase number 1 to an end. And I will see you lot on Friday for potentially another double upload Friday of the Premier League and the Women's Super League, if that's still happening. But I'll see you lot in the next one. Until then, what can these mid-tier teams versus top opponents be good? Could Union St. Gallis upset PSV? Could Bono or Paso, they'll struggle though. Could that one happen? Or what other teams who are lower down surprise the big guns? Find that out in league phase number 2. Goodbye.